Well, welcome back, everyone. What an incredible day in markets today. On the heels of insights that we provided members going back as far as last Friday, we were looking for the market to see a CPI print that comes in a little cooler and gives us a reason to see a pump in the market, but we are expecting a dump back down. Now, yesterday into the close, I provided members the exact same insight. For those that are part of the active trader room in our into the close session on Wednesday, November the 9th, saying exactly what you just heard me say right now, expecting the CPI data to take the S&P 500 into that uppermost quadrant and of that downward sloping year-to-date channel. And boy, did it ever in today's trade. Now, forecasts are great. Technical tools and triggers and having a setup are a lot better. So I'm going to take you down to what we had into the open of trade this morning. We were already pulsing higher this market morning. That's a daily candlestick chart of the ES. I came into the hour of power on wealth charts and in the active trader room this morning before the markets opened and let folks know that, hey, I think we're actually going to be seeing higher highs. It's very likely we're going to see 39.31 or higher. As the day progressed, I revised that up to 39.74 as a potential outcome. And markets are still ticking away right now as I speak. We've hit 39.72. So we are seeing an incredible price move that has taken us well above the mattress, which is the center of all the pivot lines, these colorful lines on the screen, and has taken us into the uppermost quadrant of the downtrending channel we've been in year to date. Is everything fixed now that we've got an inflation print that is cooler? Well, before we talk about that, we did do some great trading in the active trader room today, so I'll share some of that with you. Of course, alongside trading was the name of the game. And you'll see that I was able to gross over $562 doing some long side trading on the ES. But I also was able to take advantage of a dip inside the day where I took on a long trade on a long volatility ETF. When the SPY hit that 392 area, we're looking for a pullback down to about 389, middle of the day. So I entered a long in front of members at around 12 p.m. exactly at $8 and about 2 pennies on this ETF. It's called HUV for about 10,000 shares, and I was able to take it off the table at around $8 and a dime to gross just over 900 Canadian dollars. So there was some pretty exciting trading in the active trader room today, and really now it's about what's next. Well, is the market going to follow through from this big push up? Typically after big push ups like this, the very next day tends to be an indecision type candle where we can make a higher high, have a pullback, but end up closing without clarity that the turn down is happening or a continuation up is happening. So my expectation would be, following pattern, it likely is an indecisive print, but there is some risk based on how stretched the market is for us to come down and actually test this area. This area of support. Now, by the way, I didn't really make too many comments over here about the trades. I'm going to say to you that this was done today, live in front of members, but to each their own on how they trade. I'm not a registered financial advisor. Consult yours. There's risk when trading comes into play, so I want to make sure that you hear that before we go any further. So it's nice to have results on the day, of course, but there is risk involved in trading. Make sure you understand the risk before you go any further in your active trading. Now, back to the matter at hand, folks. So when I take a look at the daily chart, the indecision candle is what I'm looking for tomorrow, which would mean potentially a slightly higher high, i.e. 4,000. And with the risk of it being so stretched, a pullback towards the 3,900 area would not be off base. Now, you do have room for indices like the NASDAQ. Here's the NASDAQ as measured by the Qs to carry on its journey and find its way up towards that $289-ish area. Breaking above 283 would open the door for that, but a pullback first to about 278 would not be off base. When we take a look at the Russell IWM, it's nearing the top end of its year-to-date downward sloping channel. It has not expunged all of the room on its weekly pivot range. That would be all the way up at around $190.95 right up here. But it is in a spot where it's overcooked, it's overheated. So taking good care over here makes a lot of sense. And for those who kind of think about markets through the lens of the SPY, not the ES, look, we're looking at the SPY on the screen right now with the same lines, levels, and channels and tools on it. And the idea would be in the overnight session, pre-market session, could we come up to about 399? Potential, but the potential to also pull back towards 388, 389, potentially all the way back down to the value of the pink line right there, which is around 385, would still be on the table. Our expectation, however, would be a bounce thereon after. Most technical tools would give us a green light signal that the market is likely to continue from where it is here, and over the course of a day or two, potentially make a higher high. I would affirm that our technical tools would support that. And if you take a look at the ITP tools, the TRP tools, and get a good sense of what they say on a chart, for example, like a 4-hour chart, which I'll bring up on your screen here momentarily, you'll note very carefully here that the marketplace is in a spot where, using Rob's work, the ITP work, we are throttling on a 4-hour chart. Now, there's a lot going on the screen here, but this is a one time frame 4-hour chart. We are throttling on that 4-hour chart using the indicator that I've built here called the Triple S. We still have room before the soldiers get up to the top of the channel. The spike tool is still in full bloom above the top of the channel, and the TRP crossover lines are still turning up with a TRP target 1 open at around 39.84. So there is still enough bullishness in the market on that 4-hour chart that suggests that even if a dip does take place, it's likely to be bought back up again. Likely does not mean certainly. So this takes us to now looking at some of the key levels and areas where one would want to look for bigger decisions. Profit taking as we get closer to 400. Dip buying opportunity potentially. Of course, consult your registered financial advisor if we come closer to 385. And using intraday tools and tactics is going to become very, very important for those that are decision makers in markets over the next couple of days. So I'm pleased to share with you that Dr. Keith Wade, one of our favorites in the overall wealth charts and BBT community, is going to be joining us tomorrow for a very special session. Now, he's got a really cool set of tools against his Heikin-Ashi candlestick methodology, and it's going to be a great session. Now, Dr. Keith is a fan favorite, very knowledgeable on markets, got a very diverse history on markets, is an active trader himself, and he's going to be disclosing, showing, sharing on the heels of his video from yesterday how he uses his suite of Heikin-Ashi tools to be able to help him very short-term trade to mid to longer-term swing trade as well. And he simplified the process into signals that are very attractive to myself even to look at. So I'm looking forward to his session and bringing the Heikin-Ashi trading strategies that Dr. Keith is making accessible to us and bringing that over into my toolkits to make decisions as well. So I'm very excited about that session tomorrow because having the right tools in a market that's volatile and having them at the right time, knowing how to use them, is really of great importance. So great trading day today. I hope folks did well overall. Of course, I'm not saying that these kind of results happen every single day, but having the right tools can be helpful in decision making, and I'm looking forward to adding more tools to my toolkit with Dr. Keith's session tomorrow. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Simply click the link at the bottom of the video here in your email or go to becomeabettertrader.com/yes, and we'll see you at the session. Have an incredible rest of your trading day, and we'll see you first thing tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Friday, November the 11th, for Dr. Keith's session. Bye for now, folks.